This question from Ephraim the Dream. Greetings, Foundryman! Exclamation point. Perhaps you can answer this age-old question. Just what on earth has Naughty Dog been working on? For PS1, they developed Crash 1 to 3 and Crash Team Racing. For PS2, they developed Jak 1 to 3 and Jak X Combat Racing. For PS3, they developed 3 Uncharted games and The Last of Us, including the Left Behind DLC. For PlayStation 4, they developed Uncharted 4, the Uncharted DLC, and T-Loop 2. And 4 years into PS5, we have absolutely nothing. Side question, am I the only one who thinks they should have left The Last of Us just be a one-off and started fresh on a new IP?
Interesting.
Cheers! Exclamation point. Oliver, you're the man we go to for all things T-Loop.
T-Loop.
And T-Loop, yes. And there is a point here in that Naughty Dog's output for PlayStation 5 has essentially been almost like a PS4 greatest hits. We haven't actually seen a Naughty Dog game for PlayStation 5 yet. Surely logic would suggest that it is The Last of Us Part 3.
Well, the one exception to that would be The Last of Us Part 1, which is a PS5 native title and is only on PS5 and PC, but that's also not really, I think, what people have in mind when they think of as a new Naughty Dog effort this generation as well. Personally, I think it's a new IP. I think that all signs point to that from the hints they've given, from job listings they've posted. That's kind of the vibe that they're giving off at the moment. I think it is a new IP. I think it possibly is something science fiction related, again, judging from what they have been posting a little bit. Yes. But also, if you look at the Grounded 2 documentary that they released to coincide with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, they do talk about a concept for The Last of Us Part 3, not specifics, but just that they do have a concept for it, whereas previously they didn't really have a good concept for that. But I'm not sure if that would be a new concept for a new game, or a season of the TV show, or both. And it certainly does seem like with the realities of game production that it would probably lend itself more readily to a TV season, because if you think about, okay, we have a great idea for The Last of Us Part 3 in like 2022, 2021, turning that into a game, that's going to take a lot of time, but they're actively producing HBO seasons of that television show, so perhaps it is in the pipe for that kind of deal. But personally, like answering that last question there, I like The Last of Us quite a lot. I think it's great they pushed a sequel. I think if you look at what The Last of Us Part 2 did gameplay-wise, if you look at what it did narratively, I think it just stands alone in gaming, in my opinion, in terms of creating a really unique experience, in terms of creating something really special. I know some people maybe won't agree with that, but I think it's truly a great title, even if it is a bit of a, one of these Sony narrative-focused action-adventure type games that some people are not too warm to these days. But I think it's great they pursued a sequel with it. I think if they did a third game, that would be exciting, but I'm also excited to see what they would do with a new IP, because they have not had, they had Uncharted in like 2007, then The Last of Us in 2013, and nothing new since then. That's quite a long time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, I guess the new IP thing is what interests me. There was some talk of them doing some sort of space game for a while. It was like called like Jagged. What was it called? Do you remember this, Oliver? Jagged Empire? Am I making something up? Shattered Empire. Post a comment on his web zone if you know. But either way, I would like to see also a return to a different style, because like third person shooting with like stealth mechanics is like kind of UC and that game, T-Lu. I would be interested in see them tackling an adventure game, kind of like they used to do. I think that would be really cool. It would also be different in the lineup of Sony games at that point, because that doesn't exist anymore. Those kind of more fun, platformy. I mean, Jak 1 is pretty cool game, right? I kind of would love to see them return to that style of game, and it would be different. And I imagine since it wouldn't be focusing on maybe photorealism, it could have a different turnaround time instead of, 4K sweat and tear ducts, I think that there could be actually less artist time and maybe, something that we don't see too often these days. So that's the only thing I would feel about this, actually. But it is a bit sad that them working on that online game for a while really tanked whatever like they could have been producing. It is actually sad because I don't think their heart was maybe behind it the whole way, probably given their studio culture. And it is good that they probably stopped it at the end of the day, because it would have just brought them into an endless cycle of, you know, like Destiny, like of just producing Destiny stuff. And
content drops.
Yeah, that probably would have eaten the studio and changed it completely, which I don't think anyone who likes their games would like to see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, I did enter some details into the web zone, and
Yes.
it turns out that the name of the leaked name, the project code name, apparently it's Strays Cross. Just for clarity.
What am I thinking of? I don't even know. Okay. Yeah. Strays Cross. But it was some sort of sci-fi thing.
I like Jagged Edge, though.
Yeah, Jagged Edge.
That's a cooler code name.
Yes.